Here are today's top stories. Food and Drug Administration Chief Nela Sharaid Puno is fired over allegations of corruption. Canada maintains its commitment to ship out its garbage from Manila following the pullout of the Philippines envoys. The COMELEC looks into reports that about 1.1 million votes for senators were lost to overvoting. And NBA stars Colin Sexton and Ticha Penicheiro joined the 2019 Junior NBA National Training Camp.
Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Candidates of the administration party Hugpong ng Pagbabago continue to dominate the Senate race in the recent midterm polls. Based on partial official tally of votes by the Commission on Elections, sitting as the National Board of Canvassers, re-electionist Senator Cynthia Villar remains on top, followed by fellow re-electionist Grace Poe. Former presidential aide Christopher Lawrence Bongo has not moved at third place. At fourth place is returning Senator Pia Cayetano, followed by Ronald Bato de la Rosa and Sani Angara. Right behind them from 7th to 12th place are Lito Lapid, Aimee Marcos, Francis Tolentino, Coco Pimentel, Nancy Binay, and Bong Revilla. Let's look at the latest results of the senatorial race. President Rodrigo Duterte has terminated the appointment of Food and Drug Administration Director General Nela Sharaid Puno. The termination was announced in a letter to Puno signed by Executive Secretary Salvador Milladea dated May 15, stating it is in line with the President's continuing mandate to eradicate graft and corruption. Medialdea instructed Puno to immediately turn over all official documents and properties in her possession to the Department of Health. In a statement issued Monday, Puno denied knowing any involvement in corruption as she has not been charged with any offense. She said she is ready to face any allegation against her. While she thanked the President for appointing her to the FDA, Puno maintained that her conscience was clear and she served the agency with complete honesty, diligence, dedication, and loyalty. Puno was appointed to the FDA in 2016. The Philippines is expected to sign at least 10 business agreements during President Rodrigo Duterte's trip to Japan by the end of May. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said that these deals are expected to allow Japanese companies to invest in the Philippines by expanding their businesses here. Lopez said that these companies have decided to invest in the Philippines as an expression of their support and confidence for the current administration. He noted that the deals included investments in electronics, manufacturing, data analytics, some services, AI field, tourism-related, and transportation. Lopez described the trade relations between the Philippines and Japan as a strong one. President Duterte is set to attend the International Conference on the Future of Asia on May 30 to 31st. This will be Duterte's third visit to Japan since he assumed the presidency. A town in the United Kingdom has proclaimed its first ever Filipino mayor. Danny Favor, a nurse by profession, was proclaimed as town mayor of East Grinstead in Sussex for 2019 to 2020 following the local elections there. Favor was also the first Filipino to hold elective office in the UK as he acted as town councillor in Asflat's ward since 2011. On his election, Favor expressed his pride and appreciation, saying he moved to the town 19 years ago to work but never thought he would become a town official. Favor worked as an ophthalmic nurse practitioner at the Queen Victoria Hospital. Prior to his government work, he received the Presidential Banaag Award for Outstanding Filipino Individuals and Organizations Overseas. He also received a Community Service Award in 2014 from Mid-Sussex District Council. Senator Tito Sotto insists on the credibility of the May 13 elections. Meanwhile, 1.1 million votes for senators are reportedly nullified due to overvoting. More on these and other news around the metro from Janice Cave.
Senate President Tito Soto on Thursday said the recently concluded May 2019 midterm elections were credible amid several glitches involving vote counting machines. According to COMELEC, 961 out of the 85,000 VCMs, or 1.1%, were found defective, while 1,665 SD cards were replaced last Monday. Soto said he will support the planned congressional inquiry into the malfunctioning of VCM machines during the polls. Meanwhile, COMELEC on Thursday said they were not negligent in reminding voters not to overvote in the recent elections. This as COMELEC spokesman James Jimenez reacted to an online report claiming that there were at least 1,170,331 ballots with overvotes for the senator position. He, however, said they have no data on the report that there were more than 1 million overvotes that were recorded in last Monday's polls. In other news, the Philippine National Police says it is not yet the right time to implement death penalty. PNP spokesperson Bernard Banak reiterated PNP's position that despite the police force's support, there should be clear guidelines that will ensure that death penalty would not be abused. Former PNP chief and Senator-elect Ronald Bato de la Rosa earlier said he will push for death penalty against drug offenders. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Still to come, Canada maintains its commitment to ship out its garbage from Manila following the pullout of the Philippines' envoys. COMELEC proclaims the first ever female governor of Maguindanao. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
The Environment, Tourism and Interior Departments recommended to close Boracay for 6 months.
To address issues such as illegal structures and faulty drainage systems that is affecting Boracay's prized beach.
The last time na nandito is 2017. It's actually crowded. Sobrang dami ng tao. Everywhere, makikita mo talaga bars and drinks and sa makalat talaga.
We had more cases of skin disease. We had more cases of diarrhea.
So nagkasama-sama lahat ng mga agencies, tiningnan ano ba ang plano natin sa Boracay, compliance on Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, at saka yung ating environmental compliance.
When they started demolishing, we saw that there was action, that they put their money where their mouth is.
Lahat ng nagamit na tubig ng customer, we collect it through our sewer lines and then it goes through a treatment process sa treatment plant.
It was nice that it happened. Finally, Boracay got the attention it is in deep need of.
I think a lot of work was done during the closure. The water is clear, the oceans are clean, there seems to be a lot of wildlife returning. We had for the first time in 10 years, we had turtles hatching on the beach a couple of days ago.
During the closure, you could see like the eagles came back and everything that we have had for a long time.
Pumasyal pa nga yung mga kondito udanding, galing na Cebu.
In the end, it's a good thing, yes. It was hard for us, but it was also a wake-up call.
The beach was cleaned up and is officially set to reopen on October 26th.
Wala nang kumakain sa beach, bawal nang manigarilyo.
Gumanda yung isla namin as in bumalik sa dati na ambience.
We teach kids about pollution, solid waste management, because they're the ones who will sustain all the things that we're doing now.
Canada reiterated its commitment to ship out and dispose the garbage it exported to the Philippines. This amid a looming diplomatic rift as Ottawa failed to meet its May 15 deadline to remove its trash from Manila. Here is our report.
Canada on Thursday night vowed to work closely with the Philippines in coming up with a swift resolution so the waste it had exported to Manila could be promptly shipped. Canada issued a statement after the Philippine government recalled ranking Filipino envoys when Ottawa missed the deadline set by the government on May 15, 2019. Guillaume Berube, spokesperson for Global Affairs Canada, said while they were disappointed with the pullout, they will work with Manila to solve the issue. He also noted that Canada values its deep and long-standing relationship with the Philippines. Berube did not, however, indicate the earliest estimate when the containers of trash will be pulled out. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the order was to persuade Canada to speed up the retrieval of more than 100 container vans containing the waste that arrived in batches at the Port of Manila from 2013 to 2014. On the other hand, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez is confident the ties between the Philippines and Canada will not be affected by the trash issues. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Goodies.
Japan's ambassador proposes to the Philippines to draw in more Japanese by opening the country as a seminar and meeting destination. This aims to promote the Philippines as a place for business and pleasure. More on this from Joyce Kudis.
Japanese ambassador to the Philippines Koji Haneda on Tuesday said the Philippines could tap his country's MICE market to further increase the arrivals of Japanese to the country. MICE refers to meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions, is a market in the tourism industry involved in booking and facilitating seminars or other events. The envoy said he sees the efforts of the Philippine government in exploring opportunities on this niche area of tourism. Tokyo remains a top tourist market in the Philippines, ranking third in the latest arrival statistics of the Department of Tourism this year. Haneda said he and Tourism Chief Bernadette Romulo Puyat also discussed other ways to strengthen tourism in both countries. He said the Philippines has a lot of tourism assets such as the beaches that could further attract the Japanese. He noted that the new face of Boracay alone is appealing enough to attract more foreign tourists. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Goodies.
In Iloilo City, the hotel industry is benefiting from the growing meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibits tourism, or MICE, the new direction that is being pursued by the local government. City Tourism and Development Officer Junel Ann Divinagracia said Iloilo City is not only festival-driven but also MICE-driven, as most of the tourists are delegates of conventions. Divinagracia said 50% to 70% of the 1.2 million tourist arrivals last year were due to the MICE. The city has created an MICE alliance composed of tourism stakeholders, which seeks to bid for international events to be in Iloilo. This year, the city is expecting 2 to 4 big conventions happening monthly. Aside from beefing security, the city is building a transportation hub to serve a lot of routes, such as from the airport, ports, and other routes from the provinces. Last February, Senator Franklin Drilon requested the Department of Tourism to prepare a tunnel mart to further promote Iloilo. The COMELEC proclaimed on Thursday Maguindanao's first ever Lady Governor. Outgoing Mayor Bay Mariam Sangki Magundadatu of Datu Abdullah Sangki Town won as governor-elect of the 46-year-old province. Sangki Magundadatu made history after winning over her closest rival, Freddy Magundadatu, during the May 13 midterm polls. The Lady Governor-elect is the wife of Governor-elect Suharto Magundadatu of Sultan Kudarat Province, who is the cousin of Freddy Magundadatu, the outgoing mayor of Magundadatu Town. Also proclaimed were Datu Lester Sinswat as Vice Governor-elect of Maguindanao and Datu Ronnie Sinswat as Congressman-elect of the province's 1st District. The Provincial Board of Canvassers earlier proclaimed outgoing Governor Esmael Magundadatu as the Congressman-elect of the province's 2nd District, together with his son King Jaser as board member for the same provincial district. Women dominated the recent midterm elections in Nueva Ecija as female candidates took congressional seats and other significant positions. These and other news from the provinces from Benj Bondok.
4 ladies from the administration party PDP Laban are poised to represent Nueva Ecija in the 18th Congress. On Wednesday, the Provincial Board of Canvassers proclaimed re-electionist representatives Estrelita Swansing, Micaela Violago, and Rosana Vergara, and newly elected Maricel Natividad Naganyo. Novo Ecijanos also voted for 11 other women as mayors, 2 as members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, and several more as councilors. In Cavite, World Boxing Champion Jerwin Ancajas received a hero's welcome in Magallanes Town on Wednesday for his successful defense of the IBF Super Flyweight title. Mayor Hasmin Maligaya Bautista spearheaded a motorcade for Ancajas, nicknamed Pretty Boy, around Magallanes Town. Ancajas scored a 7th round technical knockout victory against Japanese challenger Ryuichi Funai in Stockton, California on May 5. The 27-year-old champion, who currently lives in Cavite City, has improved his ring record to 31 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws with 21 wins via stoppages. Meanwhile, 3 historical churches in the Diocese of Dumaguete are almost ready for turnover to local stakeholders. The Isidore the Farmer Church in Zamboanguita Town, the St. Nicholas de Tolentino Church in Dawin, and the San Isidro Labrador Church in Lazi, Siquijor are being restored by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. The NHCP said it is doing its best to restore the churches to their closest original state. It highlighted the importance of the stakeholders' role in the maintenance, protection, and preservation of these restored churches. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondok.
Up next, Coronadal City is ready to host 2 major national sports events this week. NBA stars Colin Sexton and Ticha Penichero join the 2019 Junior NBA National Training Camp. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Kauna-unahang virtual press conference ng PCOO na tinatawag natin na the Virtual Presser. Ito po ay interactive online video platform ng PCOO. Para magkaroon ng maraming engagements sa international media at sa mga foreign audiences. Ito rin po ay sang-ayon sa pagpapalakas ng pulisiya ni Secretary Martin Andanar mas pinalakas na government-to-media bridge policy.
The city government of Coronadal is all set to host starting next week the Little League Philippines National Finals and the World Archery Philippines qualifying leg. City Sports Coordinator Tony Aguilar said on Thursday around 700 baseball and softball players as well as archers from parts of the country are expected to join the 2 competitions. He said at least 45 teams will compete in the Little League Finals, which is slated May 19 to 26. The games will be played at the South Cotabato Sports Complex, Coronadal National Comprehensive High School, and the Notre Dame of Marbel University. Meanwhile, the archery events will be held at the new City Hall grounds here on May 24 to 26. The same site hosted the Mindanao leg of the World Archery Philippines Philippine Archery Cup in January 2018. In sports, the Philippine Sports Commission, or PSC, is launching the 6th edition of the Women's Martial Arts Festival on May 28 to 31st at the Harrison Plaza in Malate, Manila. PSC Commissioner Celia Kiram said the event aims to encourage more Filipino women and children in sports. This year's event features 10 sports, namely arnis, fencing, judo, karate-do, muay thai, pencak silat, taekwondo, wrestling, and wushu. The Martial Arts Festival is also done in support of the Magna Carta for Women, which spells out every woman's right to equal participation in the field of sports. In sports, WNBA star Ticha Penicheiro and NBA rookie Colin Sexton will be the special guests in the 2019 Junior NBA National Training Camp in Makati City this weekend. Sexton and Penicheiro will help the coaches in conducting basketball drills in the training camp proper on Saturday at the Don Bosco Technical Institute in Makati. They will also attend the culminating events, the Boys versus Girls Exhibition Game and the Alumni All-Star Game at the SM Mall of Asia Music Hall in Pasay City on Sunday. Sexton was selected as the 8th overall pick of the 2018 NBA Draft by Cleveland, giving him an opportunity to team up with Gilas Pilipinas player Jordan Clarkson. Penicheiro, on the other hand, was the 2nd overall pick of the 1998 WNBA Draft by Sacramento and an upcoming inductee in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. In continued efforts to rehabilitate Marawi City, the government distributed baking starter kits to qualified residents. These residents previously received livelihood training, which now lets them start their own businesses. More on this from Sweet Lukman.
As the lead agency of Task Force Bangon Marawi's Subcommittee on Business and Livelihood, the Department of Trade and Industry continues to provide more assistance to the affected entrepreneurs of this city. The DTI has recently distributed 98 baking starter kits to the internally displaced persons who had undergone training on baking conducted by the Provincial Training, Livelihood, and Development Center of Lanao del Sur in partnership with the Pilmico Foods Corporation and USAID, Strengthening Urban Resilience for Growth and Equity. The starter kit contains gas oven, basic baking ingredients, basic baking kits, food mixer, and liquefied petroleum gas tank with hose and regulator. Siti Rahma Bashir, a resident from Mangkado, Kadingilan, who is currently staying in Ramain Bubong, Lanao del Sur, expressed her gratitude to TFBM and DTI.
Laking pasasalamat ko kasi laking tulong na to para sa pamilya ko. Ngayon pa na magkakanak na ako, kailangan ko talaga ng business.
Bashir underwent baking and pastry training from the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority before the siege. After receiving the starter kit, Bashir felt excited to finally apply her learning from the training.
Pangarap ko na dati na makagawa ng mga cake. Magagamit ko na ngayon sa wakas yung natutunan ko sa TESDA.
Bashir also received a financial assistance worth 73,000 and pabaon package from the Department of Social Welfare and Development. DTI has targeted to distribute a total of 3,000 baking starter kits, while it also continues to distribute sari-sari store starter kits. She shared that she will use it as additional capital for her business. She also plans to set up a Facebook page to accept orders of cupcakes online. For PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
We are still experiencing extremely hot and humid temperatures due to El Nino, but other than short instances of rainfall, we're expecting fine weather for the rest of the week. Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Here's another look at today's biggest stories.
Food and Drug Administration Chief Nela Sharaid Puno is fired over allegations of corruption. Canada maintains its commitment to ship out its garbage from Manila following the pullout of the Philippines envoys. The COMELEC looks into reports that about 1.1 million votes for senators were lost to overvoting. And NBA stars Colin Sexton and Ticha Penicheiro joined the 2019 Junior NBA National Training Camp.
Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And yet another election day has come to a close. Congratulations to all the winners, and hoping that everybody will be able to accept and support those who have won. Here's hoping for a unified, peaceful country all of the time. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.